I have somehow never played an Assassin's Creed game. So for some reason this year I've decided to attempt to play through every single Assassin's Creed game, starting with the first one, going all the way up to the newly released Assassin's Creed Shadows. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm gonna try. I recently finished Assassin's Creed 2, the first one I have finished, because I tried to play Assassin's Creed 1 and just did not run on work on my computer. It was a whole thing. But Assassin's Creed 2 is done and finished, and this is my impressions and my experience of it. Not only first time playing, but kind of how it translates into the 2025 era of gaming. Now, it's not a perfect game. Not by a long shot. There's a lot of problems with it, especially trying to play it on modern hardware. Don't even get me started on Ubisoft Connect yet. But at its core, I wanted to find out why this game was still so highly regarded and if it held up in the modern era. And like I said, it's not perfect. There's a lot of jank. There's a lot of repetitiveness. Even all the way back in 2008, Ubisoft was making you do the same thing over and over again. And for a game that's about 20 hours long, it kind of felt like 30 at a lot of points. But with that said, it's pretty awesome. When you get into the flow state of parkour, you do some assassinations, you're jumping from building to building, planning out your route as you go along, and the music kicks in. I mean, there's not much better in gaming. So one of the main things I really wanted to talk about and see how it translated to kind of the modern era is the parkour system. Obviously, that's something Assassin's Creed in general is known for. Assassin's Creed 2 is, I think, pretty well known for kind of evolving the formula from the first game. Obviously, each game kind of evolves formulas a little bit, but Assassin's Creed 2 being the second one, it kind of added a lot from what I have been told. Especially as someone who, like I said, has not played many of, or any really, of the new Assassin's Creed games. I've played a little bit here and there, but I've not like fully invested time. The parkour differences was the thing that I think like really stuck out the most to me, because unlike on the new RPGs, you cannot just hold W and press forward and climb up anything and everything. You have to be often extremely intentional on where you're climbing, where you're trying to like grip and jump up things, and just planning your route in a way that I have not really experienced in games aside from maybe like a Mirror's Edge type situation where you're trying to plan your route and plan like the most effective and fun way to get from point A to point B, which is something the new games just do not have. Like they have parkour, but it's not parkour, it's just going over buildings. This is true parkour. You're having to go up and grab hand grips, look for the side of a building that has the most grips or like things you can grab onto, because some sides of like a watchtower point, you just can't go up the side of the building, so you have to like look at a different side, kind of climb around it and go up it, which could get a little tedious at points for sure, but ultimately is a way better system than anything the newer games have done in terms of parkour. And it is really astounding to me how intentional you had to be with your climbing, with your momentum. And this is just second game, and I know a couple of the games really improve on that. I think Unity is like the one that's like has the quote-unquote best parkour system. I could be wrong on that. That's just what I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But I really loved that part of the game. It took a while to get used to, for sure, particularly because the game's old, and the gameplay systems and animations, while good and especially incredible for the time, are very janky feeling in the modern era. Like, man, it's janky. Like, combat in particular is not great. Parkour, I'd say, overall is fine. But the combat definitely doesn't hold up. It's fun. It's just repetitive. You just basically are, if you're in a fight with more than one person, you just have to counter, attack, and that's like the whole thing. And the finisher animations and stuff are certainly cool, but they're not anything crazy for sure. Now, the other side of Assassin's Creed, and the Ezio trilogy in particular, that I had always heard a ton about, is the story. The story of Ezio Auditore and his journey into becoming an assassin and uncovering the mythos of the assassins and the Templars and these pieces of Eden and this like all this stuff that's going on that he just kind of gets thrust into. is something that has always been pretty well regarded, even to this day. I did not know much at all about the story going into it, and it was much better than I expected, if I'm being honest. You know, the voice acting is fine for an older game, but the writing, honestly, was really well done. And I love from the first couple hours of the game that you're just getting familiar with the whole animus stuff, and like all that's really interesting. And like Abstergo being this modern day Templar organization, they're trying to go through the memories to find these powerful pieces of Eden that can be used to do something. I don't know what yet. I found all that really intriguing, and in particular Ezio's story with him starting off with just kind of like a dude and his family getting killed, and him having to go on a revenge quest and doing all these really cool things. And ultimately, of course, it just does just come down to different versions of assassinate this guy, right? Like that's the game in a nutshell. But the through line in the story and the characters you meet along the way were really impressive. You meet Leonardo da Vinci, and I was like, oh, that's cool. That's just gonna maybe be thrown in there. It wasn't. He was like one of the key main characters, and is like a friend to you along the way and along your journey, helping upgrade like your hidden blades and your armor and all that kind of stuff. Really, really interesting. And of course, I guess spoilers warning here, the story towards the end of the game where you finally join the assassins, and it's sick, and you realize all these people around you this whole time have been assassins, and then they kind of like leading and guiding you to find your own way. And then you get to go to Rome and assassinate the Pope and find this whole hidden vault with the piece apple of Eden thing that's supposed to have these like powers or whatever the Templars are looking for. Still not super clear on that. And then you get talked to by this like weird Horizon Zero Dawn like future past lady who doesn't talk to Ezio. She turned, I did know this, I had seen this, but like talks to Desmond, like the character who's in the Animus, really reliving the memories of Ezio because it's his ancestors. Really cool stuff. And I have started Brotherhood, which I know was meant to be a DLC for 2, and it shows because it pretty immediately picks up and kind of already starts fleshing some stuff out of what was going on there, because Assassin's Creed 2 just kind of ends with you escaping from the little hideout you're in. Oh, wait a minute. That's something I wanted to talk about. The real-life characters surrounding Desmond are really cool, particularly the girl Lucy, I think her name was, that rescues him. But this dude, Simon, I think? Brother, this guy is so rude to Desmond for no reason. He is... Every piece of dialogue he had was just making fun of Desmond, poking fun, and making like just being like the worst. And I was like, what did he do to you? Like, you have to like go to like meet the people in this little Mission Impossible type hideout early in the game, and you like go to say something to him, and he's like, oh, don't bother me, I'm working. Why don't you like go do your job and be? I'm like, I was just told to like talk to people and say, hey man, like crazy writing. Sorry, that was an aside that I wanted to mention. But the story as a whole was good. The beginning and ending, the best for sure. The first couple hours and the last like couple hours. Middle was fine, as with a lot of Assassin's Creed games and Ubisoft games in general, I feel. Good to know they haven't changed, especially with the Brotherhood being supposed to be a DLC for the other game. And that hasn't changed. They did that with Mirage. Just like War, it never changes. It's freaking Ubisoft never changes, man. With that, it was still a very enjoyable game, especially considering it was only like 20 or so hours. Anytime I like felt like I was doing a slog or the main mission wasn't interesting, I was like, I don't have that much longer left, you know? So that, huge benefit if you're looking to get in the game. Very short in comparison to like Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla and Shadows, you know? The other thing that, of course, this game does incredibly well and that I was pretty familiar with before playing was the music. The music's incredible. From Ezio's family theme to the mixed version of that theme that plays as you're running across the rooftops in Venice, to just like the little like music stings that play when you like uncover a new area or whatever it may be. Awesome. The music's so unique and so, it just feels very inspired and very like intentional for this character in this story, and big fan of that. Like, I feel like it's a lot of Ubisoft games that I've played, the music is just kind of there. It has always usually a cool main theme, but that's about it. And obviously the main theme is the coolest part of Assassin's Creed 2, but just a lot of the like location musics or like specific mission music pieces were just really incredible. A lot of like good ambient music, Also, the world itself obviously looks very dated, but it's still beautiful in its own right, and especially on PC with some like texture remaster stuff. It really holds up and is often just a really pretty game to look at. It's its own style for sure. It's very like weirdly desaturated and all that. Like when I started playing Brotherhood, that was one of the first things I noticed. I was like, oh wow, someone remembered that the saturation bar existed in the game. But I really enjoy just going through the cities, in particular Venice, and a little bit of like Rome. And I don't remember the other city you're in, but is really well done. I really enjoyed it. I do have to mention, I played this on PC, and the only downside I had to this game in 2025, playing on a PC, and this I'm assuming would not be a problem if you're playing on a console. So if you want to play this game, probably don't play it on PC. You'll obviously not get like as high quality with like a texture mod or whatever, but it's probably worth it, because let me tell you, Ubisoft Connect is the worst thing ever. I hate it. It's so bad. One night I was pretty close to the end of the game. I go to boot up the game. Ubisoft Connect is down. You would think, okay, no problem. That's just like a thing you have to connect to for online games. No. You have to connect to Ubisoft Connect for any Ubisoft game, including offline single-player games. Tell me how that makes any sense. No sense whatsoever. From a game from 2008, the Ubisoft Connect did not exist when the game came out. Like, Uplay did, it was the same kind of thing, but why? You have to connect, have an internet connection to play a single-player game in 2025? Why, Ubisoft? Oh, it's just so annoying. And I don't know if you have to have that with a console. I'm assuming you probably do, knowing it's Ubisoft, but my gosh, that was so frustrating. Particularly that night, I was like, this is so stupid. So dumb. Made even worse, kind of, sort of, not related to Ubisoft Connect, trying to play with a Xbox One controller on PC was a nightmare for me personally. Apparently your mileage might vary, but for me, every time I had to boot up the game, I had to make sure Ubisoft Connect was closed and then try and boot the game through Steam and make sure my Xbox controller was on and connected, wired, and even then, I have to boot up the game, I have to go manually into the graphics menu and the controllers, and then select the Xbox controller to use. Now you might be thinking, that's not that bad. You're right, that's not that bad. But it would not detect the Xbox controller 50% of the time. So even if it was on connected, when we register with other games, if I would open up Assassin's Creed 2 and go into the menu, it just wouldn't be there. So I'd have to close the game out. Then close Ubisoft Connect out. Wait for that to completely shut down and try it again. And like, obviously, that's a small thing in the grand scheme of things, but man, that was very frustrating. Like, what a terrible experience. If I could go back, I would get it on like my PS5, which I'm assuming you can do. I actually don't know if you can get on PS5. Hold on. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, you can get on PS5. I should have known that because I literally just got the Ezio collection on PS5. So do that on a console. Don't play on PC. Even just don't do it. It's not worth your sanity. That's my warning for you, man. It's not good. Sorry about that long Ubisoft Connect rant, but gracious. With all of that out of the way and said, Assassin's Creed 2 in 2025, great experience. Especially as someone who's not played Assassin's Creed games, didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I really enjoyed it, and often, obviously, not every time, but I would find myself being like, ooh, I kind of just want to hop in and like do some parkour and stuff. Like, parkour is really fun, and it felt engaging in a way that a lot of traversal in games generally isn't. Obviously, it's pretty simple for sure, but it really felt like I was more engaging with this world. I found like eventually I'd be memorizing routes, and the best way to get to like a certain point of interest, like Leonardo da Vinci's like little like house you go to a lot. So anytime it's like, go visit him, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of know where I am in the city. I think I know which way I can get back, and I could do that. And it was really fun. I was really mastering not only the parkour, but mastering your knowledge of the location of Venice and the best way to get around. That's about all my thoughts on Assassin's Creed 2. Let me know if you've played the game, what you love about it the most. If you haven't played the game, maybe this inspired you to give it a shot. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a video on every Assassin's Creed game I play. I might, especially depending on how this one does and stuff, and interest in that. But I will definitely make a video once I kind of play through all of them and do like a one I played through every Assassin's Creed game type thing. If I make it that far. I fear once I hit Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla, my sanity might start to dwindle, especially trying to play other incredible games like Expedition 33 and Death Stranding 2 when that comes out and all this stuff. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments on Assassin's Creed games in general and what you find the most appealing about them, especially some of the older ones. But I hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you want more content like this, be sure to subscribe, like all the YouTube things, and I'll see you all in the next one.